And action.
All right, so welcome to Movement Mondays. I'm Alex Weaver. For today's class, all you're going to need is a bottle of water, a yoga mat or a towel or something comfortable to lay on for some exercises, and let me double check, and then potentially an object. So later this workout, you might need an object, but if you don't have one, that's totally okay. So I'm going to give everyone a few seconds to join and also make sure the video is streaming, and then we will get started. All right, so it looks good to me. So for those of you who are doing this class at home, if you have a question, a comment, and you need to go back over something, repeat something, drop it in the comments. I will check them periodically. Make sure that you are commenting on ThunderWell's live video. If you're commenting on either the Alien Athletes video or in the group, I sometimes don't see the comments. So make sure you're commenting on the live stream on ThunderWell. And we'll get started here in about a minute with a warm-up. So make sure you have water for today. All right. So go ahead and head on over to your mat. Okay, so we're going to start today with a warm-up. So first things first, I'm going to have you get on your mat. You're gonna come onto your hands and knees. You're going to engage your core a little bit just to kind of get into a neutral position. You're going to inhale up into your spine. Exhale down. So inhale up. Exhale down. All right, so we're going to stand back up. We're going to do some walkouts. So you're going to walk your hands out into the plank position, and then walk them all the way back. Stand up nice and tall, and repeat. All right, so on this last one, you're going to walk your hands out into a plank position. And then you're going to bring one leg forward and open up toward that leg. And then switch sides. We'll do that a few times per side. Good. All right. So, coming back into that tabletop position, I'm going to have you start here. Place one hand behind your head. Come in and then open out. So just like this. And switch sides. All right. Go ahead and sit back into child's pose. We're going to hang out for just a second here. Just take a few deep breaths. All right. So, next up, we're going to do a set of squat stretches. So, standing all the way up, we're going to sit into a deep squat, just like this, pushing your knees out with your elbows. Just take a few breaths. Come on up into a hamstring stretch. And hang out here for just a few seconds. Come on up. We're going to sit back into that squat. Shift your weight around a little bit. And so you can actually sit down in this position if you want. We're going to lay back on our back. We're going to put our feet hip width apart. And we're going to do a set of 12 glute bridges. So feet hip width apart, core engaged, hands at your side. You're squeezing your glutes and hamstrings to come up, holding for 2 seconds, and back down. Last one. And rest. So you can extend both of your legs. And then you're going to pull one knee to your chest, just like this. Take a few deep breaths. And go ahead and switch sides. Great. So go ahead and stand up. So we're going to stretch our calves by placing our foot against a wall or a chair or something like that doesn't move, and then leaning in like so. All right. So last but not least, we're going to do some arm circles forward, nice and slow. go ahead and roll those shoulders out, and we'll actually finish by doing a little bit of a neck stretch. So you put one arm behind your back, and then gently pull your head away from that side. And you're going to take some deep breaths. Bring that head forward a little bit. And switch sides. And pull that head slightly forward. Great. So go ahead and shake out, stretch anything else that you feel like you need to stretch before we get started. I'm going to talk through circuit 1, and then we're going to get started with circuit 1 here in a few minutes. So, circuit 1 today is YTAs, plank to downward dog with a knee tap, which I'll show you, single leg glute bridges, and jumping jacks. So let's start with the YTAs. So for YTAs, you are laying on your stomach. You can rest your head on the ground for these. You're starting with your arms extended in a Y position. You're squeezing the backs of your shoulders to lift them up off the ground, coming back down, moving to a T position, squeezing, and then moving to an A position and squeezing. And then coming all the way back to the start for Y, T, and A. So that's your YTA. So for this next movement, I want you to adjust it to what feels best for your body. So I'm going to start with most basic and move to more advanced. So for start, if you maybe aren't as familiar with planks, just start with doing a regular plank. You can do that regular plank either on your elbows or on your hands, and you can do that either in a kneeling position, like such, or a full extension plank. So either way, just make sure you're keeping your core engaged. You don't want your low back to arch, allowing your hips to drop towards the ground. So you're keeping that core engaged. If you are able to do a plank in full extension, so meaning hands on the ground, feet like this, then you can consider moving into the more advanced options. So option 1 is going to be staying in a plank and then shifting, pressing through your shoulders into downward dog, and then coming back. So keeping that core engaged, shifting back, and then coming forward. If you want to get even more advanced than that, you can start in that plank position, push to shift back, and tap the opposite knee. Each time you're going to come back forward, tap the opposite knee. So just like this, and you are tapping the opposite each time. So again, adjust that to where you're at. If you feel like after a few reps you're really tired and you want to switch to doing the like a plank or just the plank to downward dog, feel free. But yeah. So third up, we have single leg glute bridges. If you cannot do single leg glute bridges, or you feel more comfortable doing the both leg glute bridges like we did at the beginning, feel free. For single leg glute bridges, I will have you make sure your core is engaged just like you would with a regular glute bridge. And then press up the glute and hamstring and back down. So just like this. And we'll do half time on one leg, half on the other. If you're doing both legs, you just go straight through until I tell you to stop. And lastly, we have jumping jacks, which jumping jacks, very standard, just like this. If you do not want to do jumping jacks, or you want to do something that's a little less high impact for your knees, you can do seated high knees like this, where you are engaging your hips to bring your knees up, or you can do standing high knees like this, even like hopping, it's up to you. So if that jumping bothers you for some reason, switch it out for something else. All right, so that is going to be our circuit 1 today, and we are going to start in about 30 seconds. So make sure you have your water, and we will start here shortly. Okay, so we're starting with those YTAs. You have just under 15 seconds. Make sure you have room. Ready, and go. A few more. All right. So you can go ahead and switch to that plank position, and we're going to start with those plank variations next. So remember, you can either do just a regular plank on your knees or in full extension, a plank where you're switching between planks and downward dogs, or you can do plank to downward dog with the opposite knee tap. So adjust to your body, and we will start. 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. Great job. All right. So next up, you have those single leg glute bridges, so you can flip on over on your mat. All right. 3, 2, 1, and go. And switch. And 10. Great job. All right. So we are going to do our set of jumping jacks, rest, and repeat. So give everyone a few seconds. Maybe grab a sip of water. All right. And it's time for those jumping jacks. And go. some water. So we'll rest for a little bit longer, and then we have another set of round one. We got about 40 seconds of rest left. And remember, we are starting with those YTAs. We got 15 seconds left. Four seconds, 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. So next up, we have that plank to opposite knee tap. So remember, you can choose what difficulty works for you. We'll start that in about 10 seconds. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. Whew. All right. So you can stay on your mat and flip over. We have single leg glute bridges up next, or both. Just remember, if you're doing both legs, you can just go straight through. You don't have to switch sides or anything. Just keep on going. All right. Ready, and go. Switch. but not least, we have a set of jumping jacks. So get some space. All right. Are we ready? And go. And rest. Good job. So grab some water. I'm going to talk through circuit 2. All right, so circuit 2 today is ground to overheads, which you can use an object for if you want. Ground to overheads. So I'm going to give you 2 options for the second part of this. So for the second one, you can do a hollow hold, or you can do bird dogs. Or you can do one set and one the other. It's up to you. So I'll demo both those in a second. For the third movement, we're going to do push-ups. And for our fourth movement, we're going to do Russian twists. So for ground to overheads. So you're going to want to be in a little bit of a wider stance than you would be normally for your squats. So more like a sumo squat stance, or just like significantly wider than your hips. So you're going to engage your core, sit back, try to touch the floor, and then come all the way overhead. So you're sitting back into your hips, coming overhead. If you feel like balance is an issue, you can put a chair or something behind you. So I'm going to show you on this bench. So you can do where you're over the chair, so that if you lose your balance, you just sit down. If you are adding an object, you can pick a weight of some kind or an object, and you're going to start with that wider stance, and down, and all the way overhead for each rep. So that's ground to overheads. So that's option 1. Or that's movement 1, sorry. Movement 2. So this is where you have options. So you can do a hollow hold, or you can do bird dogs. So for the hollow hold, you're going to lay on your back. You can start with your arms and legs up if you want, and then slowly lower into the position. You're going to keep that core engaged. The further this way your arms are and the legs are, the harder it gets. So if you feel like you're really struggling with these, start with like here, just keeping your core engaged, and then slowly lower those legs. And then once you can be here, then you can extend overhead if you want. So that's a hollow hold. A bird dog, you're going to be in that tabletop position. You're going to extend opposite arm, opposite leg, hopefully with better balance than I have right now. Extending like this, trying to keep that core engaged. So either of those for 2 is fine. Third movement is going to be push-ups. So for those, you can do kneeling, you can do against a wall, you can do on a chair, on a box, whatever you want. Just make sure you're keeping your hands under your shoulders. So hands under my shoulders, and my elbows are going to come out at about a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to keep my core engaged and press through my chest. So make sure you're keeping that core locked, whether you're kneeling, whether you're doing them against a wall, whatever it might be, just keep that core locked. Lastly, Russian twists. So Russian twists, you're going to sit like so, lean back slightly. You can keep your feet on the ground if you want them to be a little less difficult. And you're just going to rotate and tap each side. To make them more difficult, you can lift your legs. And same thing. So that is circuit 2. So we're going to start with ground to overheads in about 20 seconds. All right, you have 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. Good job. So next up, you have either bird dogs or a hollow hold. I personally am going to do bird dogs this round, but you may do whatever feels best for you. All right, so we're going to start here, about 10 seconds. And 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. Great job. Okay, so last but not least for this round, oh wait, just kidding. We have push-ups and then Russian twists. I think I'm struggling with heat today, which is strange because I did not think it was that hot. All right, so we have push-ups, we have Russian twists. So we'll start the push-ups in about 15 seconds. Remember, you can start doing full extension and drop to kneeling. Take breaks as you need. So make these feel like your body wants them to. Ready, and go. And rest. Whew. Okay, so rest for a second, and then all we have left are Russian twists. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And rest. Great job. Grab some water. One more round of circuit 2. All right, so a few more seconds, rest, and then we are back at it with those ground to overheads. 5 seconds. And go. And rest. Great job. So we are back at hollow hold or bird dogs again. So I am again going to choose bird dogs. You are welcome to choose between hollow hold and bird dogs. All right. Let's start here. Just a second. All right, 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right, so go ahead and rest. Next up, we have push-ups. Start about 15 seconds for those push-ups. 3, 2, 1, and go. finish with some core. All right. So are we ready? And go. And rest. Grab some water. You have 1 minute of rest before we finish with core. All right. So our first core activity today is going to be the leg raises. So we're going to lay on our back on the floor. Hands are going to go under our butt. Legs start up. You're contracting your core, lowering your legs, coming back up. We're going to do a set of 15 total. So, whenever you are ready, and go. And rest. Great job. So next up, we're going to do a set of 20 regular crunches. So for those, you either have your legs up like this, or up like this, or you can extend one leg and then switch at 10 reps. It's up to you. I think I'm going to extend and switch. So you're just crunching up for 20 total reps or 10 per side. Ready, and go. And rest. So last but not least today, we have a set of 20 dead bugs. So you have a few options with these. You can do both arms and legs moving. So start with arms and legs up, engage your core, extend opposite arm, opposite leg down, just like this. Don't let your back arch, so keep that core engaged. So that's option one. Option two, you can leave your arms at your side and just extend one leg at a time. Or you can do the toe taps where you're keeping that knee bent. So any of those options are fine. We're going to do 20 total and then you are done for today. So, ready, And that is it for today. Whew. I am extremely sweaty. All right, so thank you all for coming to Movement Mondays. I am Alex Weaver. Thank you, ThunderWell, for sponsoring this class. This class happens every Monday at 6 p.m. on the ThunderWell Facebook page. And feel free to leave a comment if you have questions, feedback, anything. And hope to see you all next week, same time, same place. Thanks.